Shalom. I want to start by saying, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh Shai, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh Shai, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh Shai, Kahalayim Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahshai, Ba'ashim Kwakadash, and I double honor to the apostles and the elders of our grand millstone, and shalom to you sincere brothers out there pushing truth in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahshai, Ba'ashim Kwakadash, right, and shalom to you believers also who are scattered around the four corners, okay, who might look like these other nations, but according to the, to the scripture, and according to the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and to your, your forefathers, that you are Israelite, all right? So I want to start in the book of Saint John, all right, Slack you. Just get this preset right here. This is the book of Saint John, chapter 6, verse 44. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will rise him up at the last day. You see? So this is still going to this question that was asked me from Abava Beloved, the sister right here. So, sister, in these days we're living in right now, as this truth spread like a wildfire, man, you're gonna have people waking up to the truth who's gonna look like the so-called aboriginal of Australia, okay, who's gonna look like way in a way they were scattered, okay, and them waking up, being drawn, okay, to this truth is because here, Saint John chapter 6 verse 44, no man can come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him. You see, you have to be, drawn by Yahweh, okay? Meaning you were chosen before the world before the world was created. Okay, you were the chosen spirit to receive this truth in the last days. And I will raise him up at the last day. And right now we're living in the last days. And man, woman, they all been raised up, okay, by the spirit of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And hey, so, if you see a person who might, who look like the so-called aboriginal waking up to the truth, guess what? It's because it is given to him to understand it and be awakened to it and to believe. Okay, he's there's a gift in him of believing of and faith. Okay. Let me get this here. Book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 17. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bahoa, or Bajona, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. You see? So, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, or Yahweh, is the one who's gonna reveal this type of information unto the elect, okay, where they were scattered, And over in Australia, I believe, among the Aboriginal of Australia, you're gonna have them, those elect being awakened among them, okay? So, yeah, man, there's Israelites among the Aboriginal of Australia who look like them. Like here, when you go to the book of Jeremiah, let me get it here. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a spectacle bird. The birds around about are against her. Okay, a spectacle bird, talking about, that's like a colorful bird or different type of, birds there is out there. Okay, the birds around, it's like the birds round about are against her. Okay, and he's talking about these other nations. Okay, come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. All right. So an example will be among the Aboriginal of Australia, you have what? You have you have Israelites, okay, but somehow the other Aboriginal don't like the other Aboriginal that look like that, because their spirit is different. All right, they carry themselves different, and the curses is upon them. Because he says, "Yeah, my heritage is unto me as a spectral bird." Okay, the birds around about are against her, and he's talking about these other nations. Okay, come ye assemble all the beasts of the field come to devour. All right, so yeah, that happens a lot. There's couple of Aboriginal I've met of here, cool people, man. You can really kick it with them. And what do you think? They to me, they're Israelites, man. This is in NLT says, "My chosen people act like a spectacle of vultures, but they themselves are surrounded by vultures. Bring on the wild animals to pick their crops clean." Um, I don't really like that version of it. But let's go look up the meaning of spectacle right here. Colored, you see, colored, very variegated spectacle. It says here in strong definitions, passive participle of the same as H6648 died in stripes. An example, the hyena spectacle. So call it looking different, okay? Cause what being scattered around these other nations. All right. Okay, let's go to the book of hold up. I want to get this recent book of Revelation, chapter 7. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9. After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Okay, and this is those scattered Israelites, man. All right, coming from different countries, where they were scattered. All right, and speaking what different languages, man. And when you go to the meaning, to the the meaning, the word kindreds right here. Let's go to it. Kindreds, kindreds. Let's see right here. It says here, when you go to the definition of the word kindreds in a Blue Letter Bible, it says G5000 G5442. Right. It says here Philae. Then it says here a tribe. In the New Testament, all the person descending from one of the tribe, from one of the 12 sons of Petra, Jacob. All right. Okay, race or clan, kindred, tribe, offshoot, example, i.e., race or clan. Okay, so this right here, this kindred of people right here. It says, these will be these will be Israelites. Okay, come from where? From among these nations where they were scattered. All right, that's who they'll be. So, Aboriginal of Australia, it could be one of them, where a big number of Israelites are gonna come out of. Who knows? Okay, that's why when you go to the book of Saint James, chapter 1, verse 1, James, a servant of the Messiah and of the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Okay, 12 tribes, man, which are scattered. All right, scattered. And then when you go to the Old Testament, The reason why we scattered is because what we didn't take heed to into you know to the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That was one of the punishment. All right. So let's start in the book of Leviticus chapter 26 verse 33. And I'll scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. See, scattered among the heathen. All right. And when you go to the book of Psalms, what is Psalms 106, right? It's the book of Psalms, chapter 106. It says here, um, because Psalms chapter 100 verse 6, Psalms chapter 106 verse 6, because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake adversely with his lips. They destroyed the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but when mingle among the heathen, and learn their works, and serve their idols, which were snare unto them. Yet they sacrificed their sons, their daughters unto devils. And this is these nations where we're scattered unto the Canaanites here. When you read down, he's talking about the Canaanites, right? But the example over there, it says, when he says, but when mingle among the heathen and learn their works. So you're gonna have an Israelite that look like the so-called Aboriginal of Australia, acting like an Aboriginal of Australia, walking the fucking street naked, being a heathen. All right, okay. And they serve their idols. Okay, worship their idols, which were snare unto them, which were traps unto them, man. Okay, and that moved who that us doing that made Yahweh Bashim Yasha even more angry, and more curses came upon us, man. All right. So hey, who knows? Them are Jakes, suck it, them are the so-called Aboriginal of Australia, thou catching more hell over here. Those could have been Israelites, cause what, hey, you going off where how about Shemeshai will punish you for your iniquity? Okay, all right, let's go get another one. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 27. And the Mosiah shall scatter you among the nations. Nations, ye shall be led few in number among the heathen, whether the Mosiah shall lead you, man. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Mosiah shall scatter thee among all the people from one end of the earth, even unto the other, like over here, Australia. and there they shall serve other gods, which happen, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay, and when you go into the history of Australia, man, it's really pagan, man. How they really were moving in bushes and all that. Okay, I mean, if Esau is not, if Esau is right with that, because Esau always lying, man, trying to make everybody look bad except himself, man. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3. And then the Mosiah thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether whether Yahweh thy power have scattered thee. And this right here is slowly happening by the word. Okay, according to the book of Baruch. Book of Baruch, right? Let's go to it. Just bear with me for a minute. Gotta find it. I can't see. Maccabees, no. Right, this is the book of Baruch, chapter. Let me see where I'm gonna start from. Baruch, chapter 2, verse 24. B. No. It's like Baruch, chapter 4. Let me see. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 27. Be, be of good comfort, O my children, cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him. For ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. All right? And we do that, man. Okay? The Israelites who comes back in his truth, wants to know who they are, man. Straight up, you gotta do that, man. Okay, verse 29. For he that have brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Okay, you can read about those plagues when you go into the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, man. All right, was it starting from maybe verse 15, you know, downwards to verse 68, man. All the way, he tells you. Verse 30, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee thy name will comfort thee. All right. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy foe. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is he that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, this Edomites, and was glad of thy foe, so shall she be grieved of her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from everlasting, Lord, to endure, and shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. All right, and you can read that in the book of Revelation 8, is it 18, I believe, where it goes into that how Babylon is going to be left like that. Verse 26. O Jerusalem, look about thee towards east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One. By the word of the Holy One. All right, Yahweh Shai, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. Okay, right now, the elect are being guided by the word, man, through the internet. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3. Then Yahweh Bashim Yashad thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether thy power, whether Yahweh thy power have scattered thee. Okay, that's happening right now. Then eventually, the real gathering is gonna be that, when we're getting beamed up, man. Lord willing, with those men who makes out here, man. That's what we're praying for. All right. Let me see. There's another one in the right. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 5, verse 5. Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high. Look about toward the east, and behold, thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of the Most High. For they departed from thee on foot and were led away of their enemies. But the Most High brings them unto the exalted with glory as children of their kingdom. That's beautiful, man. And that's what's happening right now, man. Okay? Israelites are waking up worldwide from all these countries, these nations that were scattered. All right? So going back to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26. And I said, I'll scatter them into the corners. I'll make them the remembrance of them to cease from among men, man. And that happened to us. But how knowing man, the Most High, you know, sending the sign how a shot, man. And this is how we finally it's like that's how we received our mercy, and we were counted as sons again. Or and that relationship between us and the Mosiah, it was brought back by Hawashai, man. All right. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, verse 15. And they shall know that I am the Mosiah when I scatter them among the nations and disperse them in the countries. All right, you see. Yeah, another one. St. John chapter 7, verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we should not find him? Will he go under the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? You see, so the dispersed among the Gentiles, man, these were Israelites among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles. You see, you know. So man, yeah, man, our people were everywhere. All right, hey, you can go. What is a good book to read? Okay, sister, if you have a husband or it's just about you, and you're seeking for this truth, a good book to read is when you can read the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and start from verse 20. All right, from verse 20. Verse 20, going down to verse 23. Also I think Isaiah chapter 11. All right, in verse 11 it says, it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Paphros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up in sign of the nation, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall be departed. The adversary of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Also, that's happening right now. Okay, this is the whole that great work, that great wondrous or marvelous work of Yahweh Hashem Yashar that is being worked right now, man. It's beautiful. Okay, let me see. Let me go back here real quick. I seen a good precept. Right, so when you go to the book of First Peter chapter 1 verse 1, Peter, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia. This, when you go on the map, and these were different areas where our people were scattered. All right. All right, and right here, Acts chapter 15, verse 23. And the road, let us by them after this manner, the apostles and elders and brethren sent greeting unto the brethren which are of the Gentiles in Antioch and Assyria and Cilicia. Okay, and these letters is something, it's like that was back then, but today, guess what? It's the videos that we do. All right, these videos we do, these will be considered letters. Right, the sister right here, if she happens to watch this video, this video and the first video I did, this will be considered a letter unto her. All right, and the message is edified through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and she can pass this lesson to other people out there. Okay, to get the understanding of our people being scattered. All right. And another good read is the book of Acts chapter 2 verse 5. And they were dwelling at the Jerusalem Jews devout out of every nation under heaven, and these were Israelite. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because every man heard them speaking his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, I know all these which speak Galileans, and how we hear it's like and how hear we every man in our own tongue where wherein we were born. Perfenians and Medes, the Medes, the sons of Japheth, if I'm not mistaken, you know, Elamites, East Indians that dwell in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia, in Pontus, in Asia, Perphagia, and Pamphylia, in Egypt, in the parts of Libya and Crete, and strangers of Rome, Jews of Peloponnesus, Cretes, and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our own tongues and the wonderful works of the Messiah. And they were all amazed, and they were in doubt, saying one to another, what meaneth this? All right. And then it says here, others mocking said, these men are full of new wine. But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, ye men of Judea, and ye that dwell at Jerusalem, be this known unto you, and hearken to my words. But these are not drunken, as ye suppose, seeing it is but the third hour of the day. But this is woe which was spoken by the prophet Joel. It shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, I pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And second, and on my servants and on my handmaids, and I pour out in those days my spirit, and they shall prophesy, and I'll show wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire, and a vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and notable day of the Lord come. It shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be saved. All right, and I'm gonna finish it now. So, and this right here happened during the time of the apostles, right? In the book of Acts chapter 2, this happened. This took a part. Okay, guess what? This is gonna repeat itself again, because you're gonna have all these Israelites waking up around the four corners. All right, waking up to know that they're Israelites, calling up on the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and believing. All right, in these days we're living in right now, because the signs, or these signs right here, in our earth beneath, blood, fire, vapor of smoke. This is happening, man. Volcanoes, all right, floods, blood moon, okay, the fires that happen also, because we're in the last days, okay. The moon, different signs of moon and all that, okay. Moon turn into blood, the eclipse and all that, right? Before before the great notable day of the Lord. And then it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be saved. Now when it says whosoever, it's talking about Israelites. Because all these people here, all these come from these different places, these were Israelites, man. Okay, these were Israelites. All right. And the spirit of Yahweh Shah fell upon him to understand everything they were saying, in their native tongues, man. And they understood each other. All right. And that's that's the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. So, so there you go, man, and you brothers out there, if if I'm wrong on Acts 2, where these men they were speaking their own native tongue, but they understood each other. From what I read here, if I'm wrong now, please go ahead and correct me, But hey, so that right there is the wonderful work that happened that during that time. But this great work is gonna happen again, and through the internet, man. You got brothers waking up right now. They're coming out speaking Arabs. It's like Arabic. They're speaking Arabic, speaking Swahili, speaking Japanese, I believe, soon enough it's gonna be Mandarin, Italian, Spanish, French, okay, Creole, All right. Whatever Jackie scouted, man, when that times comes, they're gonna come out, man, and speaking those their native tongues. Okay. They're gonna be speaking their native tongues, and all you hear is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Yahweh Yahweh, you know. I'm serious. Believe it, hey, believe it or not, man. But we know this is what's gonna happen, you know, because the scripture says here, Romans 3:3, for what if some did not believe? Should their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Most High forbid, yeah. Let it God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that they might thou mightst be justified in thy sayings, and mightst overcome when thou art judged. All right. So hey, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man, is true. His words is true. All right. The Most High don't lie. If the Most High says something's gonna happen, and great works is gonna happen in the last days, guess what? It's gonna happen. All right. And we don't care if you believe it or not, because that ain't gonna change. No, that ain't gonna change the prophecies. Nah. Okay. So sister, hopefully this is edify. And I apologize. I apologize for my accent. The best you could do is you read through the books are called out, and just read through it, and then again, what I was gonna say is yeah, the 11th hour also, the 11th hour, man. That hasn't fully, if like fully happened, even though we come into that 11th hour. That's why you see a lot of brothers waking up. But that 11th hour, when it happens, man, it's gonna be amazing. That's what I can say. It's gonna be amazing, and that's what we're doing this work for, man. Eventually, like brothers been saying, brothers are going. Yahweh Shem Shai is gonna perform some miracles among the believers, the elect, the prophets, around the four corners, and hey, they're gonna be like these men they they are prophets. These men really have power behind them, and that's how you're gonna see Israelites who the Israelites are, man. All right, and the last precept I'm gonna read is Romans. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, and verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. All right, so that, man, it's gonna happen soon. Where like it's gonna be like, nah, this person is Israelite. That's Israel right there. Okay, his forefathers must go back to Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac. It's like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, Jacob, who had 12 sons. All right, those 12 sons became the nation of Israel. All right, because it goes by your seed goes by your father, man. Okay, and we know Jack got down with these heathens, all right? The women of these nations, man. Let me see. I said I was last precept, but I got another one right here. This is the book of St. John, chapter 7, verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. You see, we judge by we ain't gonna judge according to your appearance, man. All right, we judge a righteous judgment, all right, according to your spirit, because your spirit, your spirit tells a lot, man. All right, your spirit tells a lot about you, who you are. Okay, so that's it for now. Like I said, hopefully this was edified to you, sister. This lesson right here. And again, Tawada to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Kwakadash for giving the spirit to do this lesson right here. Again, a double honor to the apostles and elders of our grand millstone. Hey, Shalom.